during the suffering time, we suffered too, but they didn't make it feel like. So I remember one particular one. I didn't realize till I grew up that there was no food in the house, right? But I didn't know, of course. So Daddy Mike prepared tea, and there was tea, and there was is cold pap. So he took that cold pap, crushed it into the tea. He told us we were preparing delicacy. And we believed him.
Oh wow!
So he crushed it into the cold pap, into the cold tea, and then mixed it, and it says, and then we took it. And I was like,
It doesn't take a lot.
Like, there was no.
Hello and welcome back to OJ Coaching, your stop for inspirational and educational content for living a disciplined and successful life. With me on the show today are two very special guests who have a lot to say to us about parenting children successfully despite having a busy life from the experiences of their parents and their own upbringing. So I'll get them to introduce themselves. Their profile is too heavy for me to divulge to you. So they'll tell you as much of themselves as they want you to know. They are public figures. I'm sure you've seen some of you have seen them. And I'll let them introduce themselves and then we'll start the conversation for today. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Tell us about yourself, J. Mikey and T. Mikey.
Yes. My name is Tolu Mike-Bamiloye, aka J. Mikey. I'm a drama minister, music producer, content creator. And I have here my wife, Tolu Mike-Bamiloye.
She's a scriptwriter as well. She was on our last show where she wore the cap of a nutritionist. Yeah. But she's also a script writer. I watched one of the movies she wrote just a while ago.
Yes.
Yes. So what else do you do?
I'm a dietitian, nutritionist. I'm a drama minister. I sing as well. So yes, I do a lot of other things.
Nice. There are many singers sitting here today. I also sing, even though many people don't like to believe it. But that's not what we're talking about today. So today, I would like us to start by you telling me what your backgrounds were in the light of the busyness of your parents.
Okay, let me start. The business of my parents are drama ministers and they've been for over 30-something plus years.
40 years.
40 years. 40 years now.
Yes.
So the reason I said something, I was just looking at my own age.
Before you were.
They of course they traveled a lot. They traveled a lot. They did movies a lot, and whenever it's time for movies, they tend to be absent, and but. Okay, don't let me go into the buts yet. Let me just go into how the experience was. So yeah, they were busy a lot. They traveled a lot, ministrations, because before they went into film, there was stage drama. And for stage drama, they had to be physically present. Yeah. So for film, although when we were younger, we didn't do too many films in a year. It was like 2-3 films in a year. So shooting was usually, once every 3-4 months, thereabouts. So I didn't feel the absence as much during films, but when they traveled for ministrations, we felt that absence. So that's my experience. Yeah.
Okay. So Tolu, yours is
my
next.
parents are pastors, so and they were transferred a lot. That's the truth. So they had a lot of, and my dad traveled a lot, but my mom was, more at home. So my parents were very, busy. Ministrations, church. I mean,
I'm a pastor, and I have children, so I have an idea. I have an idea of how busy that can be. So the reason for the show today is to let people know that despite the fact that parents are busy, children of busy parents can be raised well. Yes. Parents can have a way of raising their children properly, even if they're busy, because you both are examples, you both are models of busy parents who have raised successful children. And I want us to share with people today how to navigate, because the world seems to be getting busier and busier, how to navigate busy schedules, yet raise our children to truly represent us well or come to a place in the future where we are satisfied. So how did your parents do it? Now we're going to talk about how they did it, how they did it on the spiritual side of things. For example, we know that many children of ministers, there's a lot of rave about the fact that they resent the things of God because their parents are busy. How did your parents do it so that you guys are into the Lord. You love Him. Despite the fact that they seemed to be busy. Like, how did they do it that, okay, this is ministry and the children are not feeling, this ministry has taken my parents away from me? Yes.
It's by the grace of God.
You need grace.
Yes. So, and then I think another important thing is they involved us in what they were doing. Like I said, we go to church. They didn't go to church and leave us at home. So we go to church. We are involved. Even in church, we're part of, the workers, teenagers, so we were involved in what they were doing. And they also, I think one important thing that my parents did was they were the same. There was no hypocrisy. So it's what they preach outside that they live inside as well. So there was that, unity. I'm not seeing somebody else in the house and seeing another person in church and I'm like, mommy, daddy, what's going on here? So I could see that. And they always pointed us to God.
Yeah.
They always pointed us to God. Like my dad would always say that God is everybody's father. Even me, God is my father. Nice. So he always pointed us back to God. So he says, if you need anything, even before you come and ask me, ask our father first. Because he's the one that will provide for me. He's the one that will supply that I can give you. So he always, had a way of pointing us back to God. They made us understand that they were also under the authority of God. So even this parenting we are doing, we are your caretakers, like you say. We're your caretakers on earth, but God is your father. So they made that obvious to us. So we didn't so we had that understanding. So it wasn't more of, we're just working for God, yet we don't know the God we're working for.
So God was real. God was part and parcel of life.
Exactly.
Children could relate. You could relate to their God as a real.
Yes, and we had devotion where they would explain, we're free to ask questions, and like I said, when they're answering questions and you can see the practicality in their life, it makes it easier for children to be honest. So you're not saying things and they're not seeing it, so they're like, what is this? Is not this. There's a lot of hypocrisy here. That wasn't the issue. So I think that was very, and by the grace of God, like I said as well.
Thank God. Thank God. But they really did make God real to you. You could relate. It was a God you could touch, feel, and handle. So it was easy to relate with Him. That's a good one. So J. Mikey,
to be honest,
that was the same.
The exact same thing. They made us understand the hierarchy of leadership. They didn't place themselves as the alpha and omega of our lives. They rather said they are also as we are reporting to them, they are reporting to someone. So whenever they were, for example, when my brother was to migrate from one school that was very posh to a school that was not so posh in secondary school, they received that instruction and they made it clear to my brother that we are not. It's not just we just saying this is what God has told us. And even though he wasn't happy, because we've grown to understand that they report to someone as well. So when we see the things they do, they are not doing it just because they feel like they are reporting to an instruction from a higher authority. So we also bow to that higher authority. So whenever we misbehave, they don't just say, how can you do this if I catch you? It's not just about them. They tell, will God be happy? So we understand that, okay, it's not just about these people, it's about who they are reporting to. So that brought that consciousness. So that's to say that I wasn't a perfect child. I thought I was chill out.
And then sorry, another thing I wanted to chip in is also there'll be some times when you will do something and you think they won't find out, but they will call you and tell you.
Oh yeah.
This one, so you're like,
that one will scare you.
So you know that there's
someone who tells them what to do. Wow, that's good.
Like that.
So godly parenting involves God being real to the parents first, and then that God can be real to the children. Well, thank you for that tip. That is good. Now, I want to refer to something you had said at the beginning, that because your parents had to go to stage dramas, they were absent. Now, did you feel that absenteeism, or was there a way they breached the gap of their absence? Like even maybe when your dad went away to minister, was there something that made it bearable? Was there something, how did they manage it such that you still, because I know you guys have good relationships with your parents, how did they breach that gap of being away yet building strong connections with you?
Yeah, so for me, two things. First of all, whenever they were present, like I said in that program, I said it wasn't really about quantity time, it was more quality time. So there were times that they were very, very intentional. So, because you can be present in a child's life but not intentional. But for them, there was, because I remember instances, for example, Christmas, they don't joke with that. Christmas holiday, we all leave the house somewhere. And then that time is going to be a time of fellowship, fun, eat to stupor.
Something you won't forget.
Yeah, so, because even when we were living in Ile-Ife, Osun State, I remember one of the Christmas holidays that we traveled to Ibadan. So just, we had to leave that environment to somewhere else. I went to Trans Amusement Park, get cotton candy and all that. So that's one. Then maybe when they are around, dad can just sit us all together, have a talk, tell us a story. Then that was the time we used to do home videos. We go to TV rentals, movie rentals. You buy a cassette. Yeah, that's another pro tip. You buy a cassette, then he doesn't just watch. He will connect the VHS to dub it. So he'll be dubbing it and watching it with us. So if there's anything we shouldn't see, fast forward. So while fast forwarding, it's dubbing that fast forwarding. So he will return the VHS and we have a dubbed version. So he sits down and watches those things with us. So we have all those memories such that even when they are absent, we are looking forward to their return.
Next.
Not that they've gone again.
Yeah.
It's rather, don't worry, soon come. And then, of course, to the glory of God, my mother's mom lived with us. So she was, the minute my brother was born, she just packed everything and lived with us. So she was, our ministry was practically, taking care of the three of us. So that also helped.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. So even in the absence, there has to be someone who is like a worthy representative, filling that gap.
Yes.
And when you are there, leave the children with memories that they don't forget, and they're all longing to have more of. Okay.
And I think also having connection, because some parents are disconnected from their children. That's the truth. Because I remember whenever my dad traveled and he comes back, they were always running and we would jump on him and hug him. So there was that, parent-child love and connection, and like you said, quality time. Like the memory, I have a lot of fun memories. My parents playing with us, taking us out to eat, to go on a family vacation, trips. So all those things, make children excited. And even when they travel, they always bring something back. So there's that excitement of, oh yes, they're bringing something for me. So and not making the children feel like, oh, they're burdened to you, because there's a way you would react to your children that will make them feel seen and heard and like, oh yes, I love you and I'm happy to spend time with you. Because some parents will spend time with their children, but it's
just like
exactly. Filled with complaints.
The weight of the ministry, they pour that frustration on the children. But my parents didn't
do
that way.
They shielded you from the pressures of the ministry.
So I mean, during the suffering time, we suffered too, but they didn't make it feel like. So I remember one particular one. I didn't realize till I grew up that there was no food in the house, right? But I didn't know, of course. So Daddy Mike prepared tea, and there was tea, and there was Echo is cold pap. So he took that cold pap, crushed it into the tea. He told us we were preparing delicacy. And we believed him.
Oh wow!
So he crushed it into the cold pap, into the cold tea, and then mixed it, and it says, and then we took it. And I was like, ooh.
It doesn't take a lot.
Like, there was no. But same thing with corn. We did all manner of stunts with corn. To us, it was, that is trying, and that's not against it. But
it was because
rather than say, look, there's no money, there's no food, people sit up and we never heard that kind of thing. So
be creative even with the difficult times. Let the children find a way to be delighted, even
what God has given them. Not that the children will grow up and say, this thing my parents did, never.
Exactly. So I have an example as well. Like the time maybe there was no food, that then my dad would take us to the store and say, oh yeah, call forth what you want. Say, what do you want? The only food you want, you want, and God will provide. So imagine little children, in our faith. This God though, I can be trusted. I've seen it come through for me and my parents. So I'm like, I want to serve this God. So the way you also present God to your children really matters.
Yeah. Okay. Now let me add a caveat to it that just came up in my mind now. The teenage years, the teenagers is a different stage.
Oh yeah.
Where children think I know,
yes.
and I'm independent. I can take my decisions. It usually takes a bit of adjustments for parents to navigate with the children that have been innocent, all of it and that. Now they are teenagers, and it's just almost like two adults. So how did your parents handle the teenage years so that you continued in the Lord and in the right course?
I think the formula remains the same, to be honest. Train up your child in the way they should go when he's old, not depart from it. So that devotion, no matter how old you are, that devotion, you will hear everything. And Mommy Gloria was I always say Mommy Gloria is the general pastor. Daddy is the Geo. So you might not see Geo every time, but when Geo comes, it's a blessed morning. But so that devotion, she didn't joke with it. So even when we got to university, when we got to college, we go to college and we are home for the holidays.
Keeps teaching.
Every morning,
teaching.
And she would, and that maybe 1 hour of talking and preaching, and you sit down. If you mistakenly do this, adding extra 30 minutes. So that really helped. So even though there were temptations and moments of driving off course, in our lives, because I went through a lot, and all of that. But you will still come back. That's always the beauty of it. No matter where you stray, you will come back because the seeds have been planted.
Yeah.
And when those seeds begin to grow, you will come back. I've seen cases of my friends who, back when they were younger, it looked like these people are gone. I mean, teenagers would look like, my mind would be like, this guy is gone. But all of a sudden, something will just switch. And then they'll just be still, and I'll be wondering why, because the mother has already planted something.
It's true.
So all those things when they are young, even into the teenage years, sometimes you think they're not listening. It might not be entering this physical year, but it's entering the spirit. So when the germination happens, there's a way God hooks
the heart. It's true. Yeah. The word of God is eternal. Sow it. Don't hold back. Yes. Keep planting it. Because I remember a while ago, I was telling someone, I remember something vividly from my childhood. And I was like, how did I remember? Then I thought, children don't forget the things you say to them. Yeah. So speak the word of God that is eternal, that will produce life. No matter the reactions, just plant the seed and it will eventually germinate and bring forth the right fruit. Okay.
So I think, I just wanted to add to that one. And also being willing to be involved in your children's life. I think like one thing that my parents, they always encouraged us to bring our friends out, even though we were not really allowed to go.
Yeah. Bring to
their
house.
Want
to see your friends.
Yes, our friends were allowed to come to their house. They were interested in knowing them. They didn't just, welcome. Like my dad would just sit there and say, do you know I'm my brother? I was like, Dad,
Don't do that.
So they were interested in knowing the people
you were hanging out with,
because they know that the people you're hanging out with is also very important. So better bring them home
close
rather
enough.
than let's know. So we can know how to guide you and say, okay, well, these people, I think we need to
and even
move
when
away.
People come up with this concept of, let me give them their privacy. I don't think teenage life should be when you be saying, I want to give them
their privacy.
Invade.
Wow. No, but you can give them privacy.
You know what I mean?
In a way.
You know what I mean?
Not
in their phones. Because I'm speaking from experience. You might feel I've told them no.
But respectfully though. Because there's some parents
let me say it from parent to parent. We couldn't. If you don't want them to know, that's fine. Because for example, I remember very clearly my brother and I had phones already, and then my mom that was so annoying. But I'm grateful today, for it. She was just take the phone and start scrolling through
I like
pictures.
Her.
Telling you, oh my God!
I like her.
Why does this guy have braids on his? So she was always that, and that was how she found out.
She was involved.
Like how she knew my journal. That's why she got my journal. And then if they didn't read my journal that day, that changed my high school life. Would not have happened because they read it and they knew everything I was going. I was like, okay, but they didn't come with the how dare you. It was more of okay. So this was
let's see what's going on.
Let's talk about this. If you do it in love, they won't hate you.
Yeah, it's true.
But I think be involved is the
word. I like it dramatic.
Well, it's some kind of invasion. You can invade very gently. You can creep in, but at least know what's happening there. Yeah. And I think that as you grow as well, the method of parenting should also change. Because I remember growing up, my parents, I really thought they were strict. I mean, in terms of, we had a relationship, but when it came to discipline, it really was on point. But as we grew older, it became more like an advisory kind of thing. Is this the same people? So it helps you to relax and to talk with them. Yeah. So
I don't know reason why I even said evade. So let me use word evade again. But there was one of our uncles I was talking with, and he talked about his son. So the way they wired their phones is such that the Apple IDs are wired to his own phone. So any message that comes in, he sees it too. So there was a time he saw the picture of a lady on the messages and knew it was from this son, right? He saw the message and he didn't see it again. So like message came and went. So he called. It was actually a naked son, almost 100% naked lady. So he called the son, sir. What happened? Is there any did you take a picture of any lady? He said no. People are lying to me now. He said no, we're not lying to you. Somebody
has.
So he
this
called
kind of
him
picture.
and the brother and said somebody. So he pressured them. They were still. We don't know what you're talking about. So they all went to school. So the father followed the two boys to school and said, "This is what happened, and I want to get to the bottom of it." Then the principal just laughed. He said, that apparently the son was very famous for his sports. He was a good athlete. And he said there are ladies that know that these guys have potentials to be stars. So they will plant that thing in the history of their phone. When they eventually get to their level, they can just come and say, I was sexually...
Wow.
Then so what they did was the girl would take the guy's phone, take the picture, send it to somebody, then delete it and delete it. So it will be on the record, but the boys won't know. So if the father didn't detect that
even just for the safety of the children,
safety, so the father was shocked. The boys too were shocked. They now remember that there was a time the girl took their phone and took a picture. They didn't know what they did with the phone. So sometimes, God can place you as that guardian. But if you feel, no, let me leave them, they are fine. If they want to say anything, they will say. Sometimes they may not even know.
Yeah, so parents should also be confident in their authority as parents at any level, at any stage of development. Yeah.
And they should also be sensitive to the Holy Spirit, because there are times the Holy Spirit will tell you something about your child. Like there's somebody that said, I think her son was in another country and God told her something. Like she knew something was wrong with the boy and she called him and she realized he was even crying, like something was going on with him at that point. So we also need to be, as parents.
Yeah. And I believe that the sensitivity is more sharpened when you keep praying for that child. So there's no end to parenting. There's no end to parenting. Thank you for sharing those tips. So finally, I want to ask about, how did your parents handle your education? Because you guys are well educated, despite the fact that they had these busy lives. Just to help parents who are out there with busy schedules, whether in ministry or in other areas of life, how did they handle it? So that despite the movements, the ministries here and there, the children's education went on undisturbed.
So the father of 6 PhDs?
You already have 6 PhDs.
Is that
6 PhDs?
Probably more than that, man. So she's the one time.
That is very interesting.
6 PhDs.
6 PhDs.
It's more than that.
And last year it's celebrated 6.
Okay.
Are they honorary?
No.
PhDs.
Please, I need to meet him. And he's a pastor.
Yes.
And a father.
Yes.
Oh God, I'm trying to finish
there are
one.
levels of grace to this thing.
Oh boy.
I think they just intentionality. They didn't. They were not the strict parents in terms of school. To be, it's not like, if you come back with this result, they will know. My parents were not that, but they, encouraged us, advised us. It's good to do well. I remember when we were younger. My mom was once a teacher. So when we were younger, me and my brother, I think it was English. English was really bad. So she took it upon herself that if you will learn this thing. So yeah, just intentionality. When they discovered areas were struggling, they would find ways that they can help us do better in that area. And then when it's time to read, and also extracurricular activities were so encouraged, because the school I went to, there are times we would go for sports and we have to travel interstate. And my dad would always say, my parents would always, okay, you can go, we go for jets or field science projects. they
allowed you
trusted
to
God.
explore.
Exactly. They didn't do it anything. They didn't do it in fear like my child is traveling. So they allowed us to it's fine, you can find your, even when it was time to pick career, they didn't say this is what you should do. No, they just advised, okay, what do you want to do? Have you prayed about it? Are you sure this is what you want? Okay. So and they didn't lord anything over us. They allowed us to, find expression even in the area of academics.
That's very profound. How about J. Mikey?
Yeah, funny enough, my parents were not too. You have to come with all A's or else you're in trouble, kind of. They were not that type, But yeah, what she said was true in terms of of course, encouraged, because I wasn't the super brilliant. So I think for something like me now, my mom had to get one of the teachers in school to come home for extra lesson. I don't enjoy that era of my life at all, but it helped. It helped, in my final exams, English especially, then literature. Those are the two things I struggled with. Sorry, maths and literature. Those are the two things I struggled with. So depending on the child, some children are just brilliant. They're geniuses, so you don't need to do all that. But my parents took the extra mile to know, okay, these are the weaknesses of. But funny enough, the same teacher that taught my brother was one that now taught me when my turn. Taught my sister too, but I was the one that gave the toughest time.
It was a family teacher.
Yeah, so you became like a family teacher, Then of course what she said, that thing is true. Academics is beautiful and it's good and it's very important, but don't neglect any
the other areas of development
or interest that they would have. So for me, it was music and art, and my parents pushed for that so that you like this thing, push for it.
And you're super brilliant in that.
Even to the glory of God, So that was now like a balance that didn't make me feel fed up of academic work, but I knew that it was something I was doing to also take the edge off.
Okay, thank you. I've shared so much already. I said finally, but finally. Now that you're parents, what are some of those things you have taken as we are holding on to this in our journey as well? And are there some things you're saying, no, we're not taking this with us?
Okay. Yeah, so to be honest, every positive thing we said regarding our parents, we are taking all of that. The spiritual aspects, the creating time, extracurricular activities, helping the academics,
praying for them,
devotion, all of that. So the only thing that I know that I will try and improve on too is in the aspect of communication. Because when you're dealing with two generations, communication might be somewhat of a struggle, because you are speaking from the child will think the parent does not understand because they're in different generation. The parent will feel that the child doesn't understand because there is experience. So there's going to be that clash of, so how to now come down to the level, or for the child to come to a certain level to communicate, is what I will also try and work towards on, so that there is more communication. So it's not a one-way communication, because there's a lot of one-way communication in parenting sometimes. I've told you this, and this is what you have to do. And I'm talking from experience, I'm talking from this area, you should understand, full stop. So if you say anything back, he's talking back at me. So how dare you? No. Let's hear what this person's view is wrong. Let's hear it so that we can adjust and all of that. So I hoped, or we hoped.
So something in our culture where there wasn't that, well, I think as we were growing up, there wasn't a lot of emphasis on what the children had to say, their own point of view, their own opinion. It looked like what you had to say. But in the West, it's different. It's different in terms of
this generation. They have a lot of questions.
Yes, so
and they know a lot.
Yeah, they know a lot.
Yeah.
You would even
like say that is the end of it.
Yeah.
But now, if I say in the morning, this is what happens, they will just Google it and that's wrong.
As well, the way things is wired now, they have access to more information.
So you have to also be, and then it's something that I should tell my wife too, when I'm trying to tell her about some topics, I say, I'm not interested. I'm like, see, your children will ask you.
So you need to know.
So exactly.
When parents need to be aware as well. Yeah, parents need to learn about what is in the So I like to listen to my children, because sometimes they tell you things and they are educating me. Yeah. So it's been a very enriching time. I believe that with what we have shared, parents out there, who are busy, and I think these days most parents are busy, just to send out hope that you can raise your children successfully, despite the business of your life and even despite the challenges of the times. I'm sure in the era of their parents, they also had their own challenges, but see, children have turned out well, children have turned out successful. So God is able to help you. God is able to help us. You can take some of these tools with you as you go on in your parenting journey. I'll let them give some final remarks, hope for parents, encouragement for parents, or any final words you have to say before we round up the show.
Okay. Personally, I see parenting as you partnering with God, because God is, like I said, is our Father. So you can't parent alone. That's the truth. So we always need the help of the Holy Spirit. So there's a need to partner with the Holy Spirit in parenting, and yes, that's the only way that it can work, to be honest. So, and you're the best parent for your children. That's it. You're the best parent for your children. Yes, there'll be days that it seems like you didn't do it right, but give yourself grace. Most parents are also just learning on the job.
True.
They've never been a parent before. They're just learning. So there are times when it wouldn't go as you wanted it, like the days, maybe the way you're feeling, but just give yourself grace. And also don't be too hard on yourself, basically. Don't be too hard on yourself. And trust God to help you. Invest in prayer, invest in their spiritual life, because that is, I think that's like major important aspect, investing in their spiritual life.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Until we bring you the next episode, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now. God bless you.